But for it to be a stalking case, the stalker needs to understand that the behavior is unwanted and it is causing fear, alarm, and distress in the victim. So go back to the role play with me telling you to leave me alone. I've said for you to leave me alone. You haven't. You've persisted in contacting me. Maybe you've come round. Maybe you've sent me messages, contact me on social media. I'm then getting even more upset because it's quite frightening. If you ask somebody to leave you alone and they don't, you then start thinking, okay, why won't they leave me alone and what are they going to do next? And that's how the uncertainty starts. But let me tell you, stalking is progresses to a much more serious level than this. We're at the very, very early stages of this being unwanted contact. The cases that I've come across in my time would involve someone persistently contacting someone after the police had been called, after the police had told the perpetrator to leave the victim alone. Still, the person continues. They might have been then arrested, bailed, gone before the court, had a protective order or an injunction put on them. They might have been sent to prison. They might have had a restraining order put on them. They might have had a stalking protection order put on them. So all these measures would have been put in place saying, leave Jane alone, and still it persists. So when you put it in that context, I hope you can start to see how scary it is. Because when you get to a level where the police are involved, and you know that if you contact me, you're going to get arrested, and that's going to affect your reputation, and you might lose your job, and you might be labelled publicly as a stalker. You might get a conviction for that, and you're still continuing to contact me. That's scary. And as a victim, I'm thinking, what is this person going to do next? Why won't they leave me alone? How can I ever be safe for them? Because as you go down the trajectory of stalking and the more committed you become to it, and let's say you lose your job, let's say that, you lose your home, you become more and more isolated because of this obsession that's driving you to fixate on the person, you've got more time to then focus on the victim. So that the cases where the stalking is continuing over a long period of time, where the police and the criminal justice system have been involved and still it continues, they are absolutely terrifying situations for victims because, you think, well, I've asked them to leave me alone. That didn't work. The police asked them to leave me alone. That didn't work. This has gone to court. That hasn't stopped them. They've gone to prison. That hasn't stopped them. How am I ever going to be free from this person's obsession and what it's driving them to do? So I hope that goes some way to having an insight in just how terrifying it is. And it's also, it kind of makes me, I've got a great sense of humor. You've got to have to be working in this game, but it kind of irritates me when I hear people say things like, oh, I'm stalking you on Facebook. And I'm like, that's nothing near what stalking is. Stalking is when someone takes over your life and they become an ever-present spectre on you that you can never be free from. It's literally terrifying, and it has a devastating effect on people's lives.